Hello, my dearest INFJ entrepreneurs. Welcome back. This week, I want to talk about identity. And specifically, I want to talk about identifying yourself as an INFJ. Now, I want to talk about what is the right way to identify with being INFJ and what is the absolute worst way to do it. Okay? And the reason why I want to examine it, because I see many times that the people who think that they're INFJs, they are often like to think of themselves as victims, as outcasts, as people who are misunderstood, and using almost like this victim mentality to not do certain things or not connect with people or to reject themselves or isolate themselves. And the reason why we created the INFJ community was not to exclude yourself, but to feel like there are people who are thinking the same way, deciding the same way, and having similar challenges than you do. And so you feel like there is a connection there and you're not alone. So one of the great things and the useful things to use your INFJ-ness is for awareness. And I'm not sure how it was for you, but personally, when I did the test, I immediately felt like, oh my God, I knew these things about myself and now it makes perfect sense. Like for me, the awareness came backwards. Like I knew that's how I was. And when I discovered about the INFJ test, the MBTI test, I'm instantly thinking like, oh my God, like, yeah, there are other people like me. That's awesome. Like I would love to connect with people who are the same personality type because it feels as though we can get each other. We can have those deep conversations that we crave so much and we understand each other better. So for me, that learning about being an INFJ was all about awareness. Was all about learning about myself, what could be my weaknesses, and where should I improve myself. And I feel like when people go wrong with this is to use this information as limitation. And I've been going through, guys, your intake form. Like I am asking you guys every time when someone joins our community, like what is your biggest difficulty? And me reading your answers sometimes sounds like you identify with being an INFJ so much that you use your inferior functions according to the test as an excuse not to pursue something or go after something. Like someone says, it's because I'm too perfectionistic, or I have difficulties because I'm an introvert and I can't socialize, right? And I'm not going to invalidate that you might have difficulty socializing or that you might have issues with perfectionism, even though specifically perfectionism, I completely debated that in one of my videos. You can check it out. Why perfectionism, in my opinion, the type of perfectionism that INFJ uses is bullshit. You can find it somewhere. I'm going to put in the description of this video. But I've been seeing this pattern of you guys using being INFJ as your main limitation. And for me, it was never about that. And actually, our entire community is fighting to overcome ourselves in a way, right? So there are things that we cannot change about our identity. We cannot change the fact that we are introverts, for example, because that's a way our nervous system is wired. So no matter what you do, you always be feeling best by yourself. You always need time to recharge. I think being introvert and extrovert is something that you cannot change. However, I also noticed that I can get myself out there and socialize a little bit, and I can get out there and instead of talking to everyone, I talk to one person. I build connection with that one person during an event and we can go to a quiet corner and we can have a conversation. So I'm not using those main points of knowledge about myself as an excuse not to do something. And every single thing that we can learn about ourselves, for example, that INFJs, they have troubles with actually taking action. I think that is one of our inferior functions according to the test. it doesn't mean that you cannot take action. It just means that for you, it takes more time and effort to overcome that part of yourself because it doesn't come naturally to you. You're naturally more idealistic. You like to be in your head and in your bubble, but it doesn't mean you cannot get things done. And one of the things I like to advocate for us is not to use being INFJ as limitation and not to use being INFJ entrepreneur as another limitation. It's not to validate and get you deeper into any type of like victim mindset of being outcasted or alone or I don't know, rejected by society. It's more of like, hey, we share something in common. And we also share something in common as we want to grow our businesses and we are doing something that's not a traditional trajectory. And we have ways of thinking and seeing things that not everyone has. We have that creative side. We have creative sides of us and we want to help people, right? So we do have that common grounds of being INFJs and entrepreneurs at the same time. And we use those assets to come together and help each other overcome small challenges and share common interests and have great conversations. So I don't want any of you to be using the INFJ identity as a self-limiting thing, as a self-rejecting thing, as a victimhood thing, because you guys is defeating the whole entire purpose. It's a way for us to connect, to include each other, is to build friendships with each other. And that's what we have been doing. Like every single member that came to those calls, we hang out virtually, we chat outside, we check with each other, we share each other's processes, and we share what we are struggling with and what we're working on. And we all, each and every of us, we get invested in each other's journey. Because I feel like even though we are introverts, we can still connect with each other in this way. And being an INFJ, an entrepreneur, to be something that we all share in common. So therefore, what else can we do, right? So we are INFJs, we are ways of thinking, we are aware what our shortcomings are, and then we are also sharing what we are doing about it. Every single month, I'm so blown away by how people are overcoming themselves. And I feel like we always try to get the courage to overcome ourselves. And if we can use that identity for something that should be used instead of something limiting or, self-rejecting or that something that makes you feel alone or excluded, then we're using it the wrong way. The only right way is to find a community of people who are like-minded and share our struggles and share how we overcome them. And every single week, guys, like I'm talking to our INFJs, like because of this community, I know what they are thinking and they have their own individual ways. They all have their own individual businesses. It just happens to be that we can share some interest of radical honesty, take responsibility for our own lives, and also overcome ourselves with courage and passion and fostering more that and encouraging each other. So when we identify as INFJs and entrepreneurs at the same time, I want us to use this identity for what it should be, which is to form a tight community of people who are in the same boat as you. The more I know, the more I talk to INFJs, the more I realize how diverse really we are. Like we all have our own passions, our own interests, our own little things that we are into. And it doesn't take away from the fact that we're all working towards building our own business because we want more of that impact, because we want to be proud of our lives in a way that we tried, but even though this was difficult for us, more difficult than to the other personality types, especially with action taking and especially with getting out of our own heads. So much creative expression that now will see the day of light because we took the courage to express that. So I'm not sure if this was helpful for you. I want you guys to identify only the parts that will help you move forward and use the knowledge to learn about your blind spots rather than use it to limit yourself and stop yourself because, well, I am an INFJ. I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you're not already in our Facebook community, please join us. We'd love to see your face. Subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. And thank you so much for watching. Courage over fear, progress over perfection. Bye, guys.